Hey guys, what's up? Evan here again with another deck review. Today, I'll be reviewing the Mechanic deck from House of Playing Cards. Let's get into the review. We'll talk about the box design first. The front of the box, at the top it says the Mechanic deck. In the center you have the Ace of Spades, and the bottom says fixing games since 2012. And that is like the sort of slogan kind of thing for this deck. So that is pretty cool. You've got a black box with a very rugged industrial sort of look to it. The side says Mechanic Industries fixing games since 2012. The other side says the Mechanic deck, and then the website for Mechanic Industries, and that is www.mechanicindustries.com. And if you go there, they have some really cool things. They have these custom coins and card clips which go really well with the deck, and if you're a magician, I definitely think you should check that out. Now the bottom of the deck, you have the House of Playing Cards logo, the Mechanic logo, and some copyright info. The back, you have the back design, and there's also a custom seal with the Mechanic Industries logo. So the box is really interesting. So now let's take a look at the cards. So we'll take a look at the extra cards that come with this deck. You get the ad card for Mechanic Industries, and I know the ad card really isn't that important, but this is a really nice looking ad card, and I just wanted to point that out. We also have a blank faced card, which is good for if you are a magician. Now we'll take a look at the Jokers and the Ace of Spades. The Jokers are pretty much identical, and the only difference is that this one doesn't have the reveal and the other one does. So you can take a look at that, and then you can see on here you have an Ace of Hearts reveal. So the Joker, it's pretty cool. There's really not much to it. It's kind of simple. You've got this circle with some designs in it and a very industrial sort of thing going on, and then you have the Mechanic logo there. And a nice little touch is the shadowing at the bottom right there, and that looks really nice. So there are the Jokers, the Ace of Spades like we saw in the box. It's really nice. It also has that industrial look. The spade is outlined with a chain, and that looks very nice. And you'll also notice that in the very center of the spade, there's the Mechanic logo, and that is inside a gear. So that is very cool. And at the bottom it says Mechanic Industries fixing games since 2012. Now we'll take a look at these court cards. The court cards are standard, but they have some recoloring, and you'll also notice that there's a texturized sort of thing in the grays, reds, and blacks on the court cards, and that looks very nice. So the texture adds to the theme and the look of this deck. So there's the Jack, here's the Queen. Again, the same color scheme is there, and same with these. So the court cards, although they're standard, they do look pretty nice, and again, they go well with the theme of the deck. Now we'll take a look at the number cards. They are also standard, but the pips have that nice texture going on in them, so that looks really great. But hopefully you can see the texture in the pips. And same with the black pips. It's not as easy to see on the camera with the black pips, but in person you can definitely see it. So that is a very nice touch with this deck. Now we'll take a look at the back design. The back design is alright. It sort of looks kind of plain to me. Although there's a lot of detail, it looks too much of the same color, which is not something that I like. It's a bunch of gears and mechanical things. The outside is a chain, sort of like we saw on the Ace of Spades, so it's nice that they tied that together. In the center you have the Mechanic logo, and a nice thing about this deck, which sort of sets it apart from most other decks, is the flipbook back design. And you can see when you riffle through the deck, the back design actually moves like a flipbook, and that's really, really nice. So there is the design of the deck. It's pretty nice. I wish it were more custom, but there's not much I can do about that. It looks good, and the theme really ties together with all of the cards. Now we'll take a look at the handling of this deck. This deck has B stock and Magic finish, which I've really liked that combination in the past, but for some reason with this deck, it didn't really do too great of a job. I don't know why. It could have been something when it was printed. It handles all right, but nothing really special with the handling. The deck fans very nicely. That's the Magic finish. That works very well. It is a little slippery, but once you really use this deck and break it in, it'll be a lot less slippery. This deck also pressure fans very well. The stock is pretty stiff. It's B stock, but once you break it in, you'll soften it up a little bit. Thumb fans are very, very nice for this deck, which is something that I really like. One thing that I don't like is the back design in a fan. It really doesn't look too great. It shows the design a little bit, but it doesn't look that nice. This deck dribbles very, very nicely. It springs nicely as well. Spreads in the hands are very easy. Again, I don't like how it looks though, and spreads on the mat are pretty nice too. So the handling of the deck is pretty good. Nothing special with it. So I definitely recommend that you guys pick this up if you're a magician, collector, or flourisher, but especially a magician, because this deck is really suitable for a magician with the theme and the flipbook back design. I'm sure you guys can definitely think of ways to incorporate that with your tricks. So thank you guys for watching. I will put a link in the description to where you can get this deck, and remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. Thank you guys.